So after you learn all these, after you get access to all these information intelligence, what do you think the authorities should do? And do you think they should, like as a public, as the people, we should continue to push the government to decouple from the Chinese Communist Party and recognize the new federal state of China representing Chinese people?
You know, that's a great question. And before I get to what our government should do, I want to talk about what everybody watching this podcast should do. So my ask for everybody watching and listening, the most important button you can have is the share button. Because all these algorithms, they are not, I mean, even with 71,000 followers on your Rumble channel, it's going to push this to not many people because of what we're talking about. But every single person watching this show, if you hit the share button, it's going to help exponentially increase the reach. And I would encourage you to share it with, if you're in America, share with somebody that doesn't know what's going on. You know, somebody you might not politically agree with, and say, hey, check this out. Like, this stuff's real, and we need to be aware. So that's my ask for the audience. Share it. People will love it. As for our government, really it's two prongs. One, understand how ingrained China is in buying off our politicians. And that was one of the biggest eye-opening facts that I've come to on this journey with the new federal state of China is it's cheaper for them to buy a senator than it is for them to build an aircraft carrier. And so if they want to take over and ruin America, like, let's go buy 10 senators. And you can see direct line money between senators, and they're not just all on the left, folks. There's a lot of them on the right that are getting money from the Communist Party of China. So for Americans, you have to understand that direct reporting. For the politicians, anybody that might see this, we've got to stop funding it. We've got to bring our manufacturing out of China back to America, because the way we won the Cold War is we let Russia collapse on itself, or the Soviet Union collapse on itself. We just decoupled. It's built on a house of cards. If you cut them off financially, it'll just implode. But the reason that's not happening, because for American citizens watching this, why don't we do that? Well, that's because your politicians are paid off in a lot of cases. And that's why you need to be aware and see who's getting money from China. And it's not like they're writing them a check, but all of a sudden they're speaking at a Chinese company function that's owned by the CCP, or their wife or their brother or whatnot is getting money through. So understand that they're buying off our politicians, and it appears that's what they're doing in Taiwan too. They would rather just buy out the political class and then flip Taiwan rather than going and have to blow it up. But if we don't decouple from China, that spells bad things for America. And what's remarkable too is we're really facing a similar situation to what we did with the USSR, only people aren't as concerned or aware about it. And that just scares me. You go up to the average American citizen and like, do you know how bad the CCP is? They have no clue. And they have no idea how many politicians they bought from us or what their influence is. So yeah, decouple. You folks are brave, and you're an inspiration to people, because fighting back against such a totalitarian government takes real courage. And it's interesting. I wish average Americans had as much patriotism and had that lust for freedom and the fight for freedom that we get from the NFSC folks, because a lot of things that you see that have transpired in China, you see the early stages or the mid stages of that happening in America. And that's why it's so important that we need to stop that growth in America. We need to decouple America from the CCP, and the people in China really need to establish a new form of government, in my opinion.
Right, and Jay, one of the phrases that you just mentioned, it actually hit me just now, and it's the fight for freedom. And we were just chatting a little bit prior to the show, and you were bringing up just how, if we don't stand firm in taking down the CCP, sooner or later, countries like Canada, America, the Western society, they're all gonna be infiltrated so much to the point that they become subsidiaries of the CCP.